has experience in dealing with depression, and I would check out various psychiatrists to find out which psychiatrists have the most experience in this area and what are their success rates of helping people with depression. Because if it's biological, I'm taking it as no cure for it. No person can cure it as Father God. They don't have any medicine for that. But if it's not biological, if it's just more psychological and emotional and spiritual, the Father God and yourself, with your along with your an excellent psychiatrist who has experience in this area, can cure it. I mean, really help you to overcome depression. And that's the steps that I would take. And I have worked with people who have depression, and it can be very, very overwhelming for the person as well as for the individual who is working with someone who has depression. So you have to keep your own self on track, mentally and psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually at all times, and socially. And I thank you for taking my call. Y'all have a blessed and safe week.
Thank you so much for calling in, Tyrone. We appreciate you calling in and listening to us on a weekly basis. Have a great one. So, yes, we are talking about overcoming depression on this morning. The question of the day was it shocking to hear that funny man Robin Williams suffered with addiction and depression to the point of suicide? If you have a comment, give us a call on 1-800-450-7876. We're going to get into talking about depression a little bit. I was... on last Thursday, C. Allen usually talks to the student body and give a motivational speech or whatever he's led to do. And on the past last Thursday, he was led to talk about police brutality, and he was also led to talk about depression, because everyone was talking about Robin Williams and the fact that he committed suicide. So he asked me to give a 2 or 3 minute speech or a 2 or 3 minute talk to the students regarding depression, and it was so... I didn't know. The students were so touched. Many of them were brought to tears. I mean, it was only 2 or 3 minutes that we talked about it, but some of them were just filled with so much, life things that they're going through. They were filled with tears. There was some couple that I just pulled to the side and talked to about their issues. So we felt that it would be great to just talk a little bit more in depth about depression on this morning, because so many people are dealing with it silently and they don't have a lot of people to talk to. So we want to give some helpful information that people can think about and hopefully change their minds regarding the way they think about depression. So first, let's talk about what depression is. Now, the world says that depression is a disease. It's a mental sickness. And usually what they do is they give a solution. The solution is pills, drugs, and things like that. Now, I personally believe that drugs are merely a temporary fix. I don't believe if they give us pills or drugs or something like that, we're going to have to use the drugs the rest of our life. I do not believe that God created us to have to take a pill of any sort for the rest of our lives in order to deal with life. I just do not believe that. Also, taking the drugs is like putting a Band-Aid on a wound. The wound is still there, it's open. A little Band-Aid is not going to fix the problem. And the only way that we can overcome depression is by going to the root of the problem. So we want to talk about a few of the roots of the problems today. But let's first talk about coping with depression versus overcoming depression. Most people use the term, okay, I've learned how to cope with this, and I've learned how to cope with that. Now, the definition for coping is to struggle or to deal, especially fairly even terms or with some degree of success. So by coping with depression, you're learning how to deal with it on some degree of success. But overcoming is totally different. It's a whole different way of looking at the situation. Overcoming depression is to succeed in dealing with a problem or difficulty. And it also stated for the definition, overcoming is to defeat, is to prevail, is to beat, is to conquer, and is to overpower. Okay, so we want to first start with our language and how we think of a situation. First of all, we don't want to cope with depression any longer. We want to overcome it. And as you've listened to some of the callers today, many of us deal with depression. Many of us deal with it. Depression is anger turned inwardly. Now, a lot of us deal with anger. There are many things that cause us to be angry. We get angry when we lose a job. We get angry with somebody when someone tries to carry us. We get angry when things don't go our way. We get angry when we're thinking, we should do things one way and something else happens. I mean, there are many reasons for us to get angry. Someone gets on our nerves. I mean, we get angry. But how do we deal with it? Some people deal with it in silence, and they don't say anything, and therefore a lot of the anger is turned inwardly, and it starts to build up. It starts to build up to the point that sometimes, we feel like we're going to burst because there's so much inside that we're carrying around on a daily basis that we have not released, and it causes us to act in certain ways. A lot of angry people are bitter. You go around and you say good morning to someone, and they look at you like, who are you? And all you said was good morning. But a lot of people are so angry in the inside, and they don't know what to do with the anger. They lash out at their kids. Some women, they're going through because they're dealing with several kids, 1, 3, 5 kids. The father is not around. You see him riding around with a new woman, and he's acting like he don't have no child at all. You're dealing with the stress of the children, paying the bills and all of that, and it can cause you to be angry. And so many people get depression and don't know what to do with that. So anger is depression is anger turned inwardly. You're angry at many different things, but we have to learn how to deal with that. Now, I would like to also say that I believe the enemy has done a great job in getting us to believe that depression is a disease. Yes, we believe that depression is a disease, but I'm here to tell you depression is not a disease. If we believe that depression is a disease, what it actually does is take the responsibility off of us dealing with it, and by accepting it, we accept, what our doctors say. We accept the medicine that they give us. We accept that there's nothing we can do about it, and all of those things are lies. They are not the truth. That is not something we have to live with. That is not something we have to deal with every day of our life. And we have the power within us to overcome it. But let's go to the beginning. I like to give some insight, because some of you still saying, well, if the doctor says it's a disease, it's a disease. But I'm telling you, it is not a disease. Now, I'm going to talk spiritually, because really the issue is a spiritual issue. It really boils down to it being a spiritual issue. I'm going to start from the beginning. First of all, the devil, Satan, he was in heaven with God, and he wanted to be God, and pride set in, and God ended up kicking him out of heaven. Well, when he kicked him out of heaven, a third of the angels went along with him. So when they were kicked out of heaven, they're now here, the spirits, the enemy, and his spirits, his demons, they're here on the earth, and they have names. And one of their names is called depression. Depression is a spirit, just like fear is a spirit, just like poverty is a spirit. All of these things that enter into our lives to stop us from reaching greatness and destiny and prosperity, all of those things that try to enter our lives to stop us are spirits. And even now they call obesity a disease. Obesity isn't a disease, people. Obesity is the spirit of gluttony. We are overeating. So there are spirits here on the earth that the doctor, the science, they don't really know how to deal with it. So they put a label on it and they give us a pill for it so we can temporarily be okay. But it's not okay. We have to get to the root of the problem. And by getting to the root of the problem, the only way that we can overcome those things is to go to God himself. We got to go to God. Now, I'm going to say, if you're on that medicine, you need to take your medicine. There are many people who are walking around not taking their meds, and they're losing it. They're walking, ticking bombs. We need you to take your medicine, but we also need you to know the truth, that you have power to overcome any spirit that you're dealing with. We're going to talk more about that when we come back from these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Listen to this, y'all. Listen. Good morning. It's WOL Traffic Update is brought to you by Food Lion. On southbound 295 at the NRL, it was a vehicle fire. Look for authorities still on the scene as that gets wrapped up. Inbound and outbound on Suitland Parkway between Firth Sterling Avenue and Stanton Road is construction. Left side is blocked inbound and outbound on Suitland Parkway there. On eastbound 704 between Addison Road and Sheriff Road in Seat Pleasant, right lane closed for construction. Visit your local Food Lion for MVP specials like 3-pound bags of Gala apples, just $2.99 each. Food Lion, grocery shopping made sensible. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by the Columbia Bank for today. Increasing clouds, highs in the low to mid 80s. Scattered showers overnight down to 70 tomorrow. Off and on showers, a high near 83. At the Columbia Bank, you can securely deposit your checks with just a snap using their new mobile deposit service. Go online at thecolumbiabank.com to get started. Message and data rates may apply. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Trendy Lindy. I'm on the Sea Island Morning Show, and this morning we are talking about overcoming depression. We currently have Miss Taylor on the line to possibly answer our question of the day. Miss Taylor, you there?
Hi, Miss Linda. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. As far as Robin Williams go, I was surprised and yet I wasn't, only because I know that depression, can come for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much money you make or how poor you are, or, like the previous caller said, it could be the person with the smiling face, bubbling, bouncing around, and when they go home, they're dying inside.
Mm-hmm.
But just what I wanted to add was that when you're feeling some type of way, different ups and downs, some of us get more down than others, but it's good to have someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Find someone to talk to. And sometimes it's not the people that's immediately around you.
Mm-hmm.
The people immediately around you may be very toxic. They may be part of the reason why you're feeling some type of way. And, to find someone you trust to vent to and be able to talk things out. Sometimes you can come to a conclusion about problems just talking it out. Or if you have someone who is an active listener, can give you some pointers into solving your problems, and that'll keep you from getting so low.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I have a best friend. Me and her could talk about everything, and we've both been through some very, 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 very tough times.
Mm-hmm.
She's also in the industry. She's also, dealt with being a single mom. She's also dealt with parent issues and, being, just different issues through life. And we can talk about these things on a deep, deep level where we can't talk about it with no one else.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to worry about being embarrassed, or we don't have to worry about, what's she going to think about me? It's an outlet where I know I can be free. I can say what I want. She's not judging me. I can let it all out. And when I'm done talking to her, I feel better.
Yes.
She's an active listener. So she says, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Well, maybe you should try this, try that.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to do the same for her.
Mm-hmm.
But in turn, when I'm dealing with other people, I've realized it's important to be an active listener.
Yes.
If someone reaches out to have my ear open so that I can respond to them, not, oh, you girl, you'll get over that and move on. No, I try to be an active listener, take in what they're saying, because sometimes people are suicidal and they reach out, but if you're not actively listening, you won't hear them calling for help.
True.
You know? So I think not only being able to talk about our issues with someone, but also being an active listener is very important in our, daily relationships and with our family and friends, even our children, you know?
Yes. That is an awesome point, because a lot of us, we just need to vent. The Bible even speaks about confession one to another and how that brings healing. So a lot of times we just need to get it out. And that's basically what I was saying earlier. Depression is anger turned inwardly, and it stays in. But when we're able to talk about it and release it, sometimes it does a wondrous amount of help for us. So that's a major point. Thank you so much for calling in, Ms. Taylor. And keep listening to us.
Of course. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. Yes. That was a great point. We're talking about overcoming depression on this morning, and I've been talking about the difference between coping and overcoming. Coping is basically just accepting and settling for the fact that, you're depressed and that's the way it's going to be. And you're learning to manage it through prescription drugs and through whatever else the doctor recommends. But I'm here this morning to say that you have the power to overcome depression. Depression is a spirit, and it's a spirit that knocks on all of our door, because we've all been angry at some point or another. It's how we deal with the anger when we're faced with it. I remember in 2004 when my sister went into labor. She was 19 years old, and she was married, just got married in January. In June, she went in labor to have her baby. And I was actually in Atlanta at a conference. Me and my mother, we were in Atlanta, and I went to this church conference. And when I got back from the conference, I walked into the hotel room, and within my spirit, I heard God say, she's not going to make it. And I got puzzled. I'm thinking, okay, I know the voice of the Lord. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what do you mean by that? I'm not understanding. She's not going to make it. But he said she's not going to make it. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, I immediately thought about my sister, and I started going into prayer. I started interceding in prayer in the bathroom. I didn't tell my mother what God had spoke to my spirit, but I just started praying. And so later on that evening, I was asleep, and I get a call about 12 o'clock at night, and the doctor said that my sister's baby died while she was in delivery. The baby died. Well, I was happy, because I was like, as long as it's not my sister, that's fine. She can have another child. I'm sorry that the baby died, but I didn't think that I could bear losing my sister. So I went back to sleep, and I was just grateful, even though the baby was a boy, and we knew it was a boy. So, but I still, in my mind, it's like, okay, the baby died. Okay, I can live with that. But then 4 hours later, I got another call, and the doctor said she didn't make it. And I'm like, she who? I went off, she what? And the doctor was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, your sister, she didn't make it. She passed. And oh my God, I thought my world had ended. It was so bad. It was so dark. It was so everything. The only thing that I wanted to do was to go to my church, lay on the altar, and just have God do something for me. Touch me, do something, Lord. Because at that point, I'm like, I was really, really upset. I had been ministering in my church. I was the assistant youth leader, and I've been ministering and preaching and all of that to everybody else's young person. And I'm like, Lord, you gonna let my young person go like that? So I was I was just broken in the inside. And I didn't care. I had a attitude that I didn't care what happened after that. I was kind of reckless, kind of self-destructive. I did not want to die. But a part of me didn't want to live either. So, you go through that. So I understand if it had not been for God's love, his healing. First of all, if he wouldn't have warned me in Atlanta, I really don't know how I would have responded. But because he gave me that warning, it didn't just take me by surprise. I was able to lean on him for strength. But there are times that there's an open door in our lives for the spirits to come in. That was an open door for that spirit of depression and for any other spirit that wanted to come into my life and cause me to end it all. That was the opportunity for it to come in. So a lot of us, we have overwhelming things to come into our lives, and that thing will open the door for the spirit to come in. So it's very important to understand that, when you go through times of disappointment, times of grief, when you lose a loved one, times when things aren't going your way, you have to somehow drop to your knees and you have to call on the name of Jesus. Otherwise, if you do not, you will be really out there alone, because there's no person that can help you deal with that. There's no person who can take the pain from you. There's no person who, some of our parents love us, and if they could, take some of the pain for us, they will, but they can't. Nobody can go through the things that you have to go through but you. So that's the time when you have to rely on the Lord. You have to. And I don't know no other way. It's no way I would be here this morning talking to you if it were not for the hand of the Lord in my life and being with us. He says in scripture that he will never leave us nor forsake us. That's a promise. No matter what we go through, no matter what we face, no matter what trial or tribulation, God is there. He's there to wipe your tears, to give you peace, to comfort you, to hold you and rock you through that rough situation. And if you believe in him, you have faith and trust him, he will do it. But you have to first believe him. So just want to reiterate that you don't have to cope with depression. You can overcome it. And the only way to overcome it is to go to God. There is a scripture in the Bible, and it's in Luke 8, 43 through 48. I'm going to read it. And it says, "And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind and touched the border of his garment. And immediately her issue of blood stanch. It was gone. And Jesus said, 'Who touched me?' When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, 'Master, the multitude thronged thee and pressed thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me?' And Jesus said, 'Somebody have touched me, for I perceive that virtue has gone out of me.'" And that's a powerful, powerful, powerful statement. First of all, this woman had an issue of blood. Now, that issue of blood could have been any type of issue, anything that we're facing, anything that we're going through. First of all, that issue caused her to be ostracized from everyone. Because back in the day, if you were having a menstrual time, you had to actually go away and be by yourself. You had to announce to everyone. If you went into the public, you had to tell everyone that you were unclean. So you had to walk around and say, "Unclean, unclean," so people would know not to come nowhere near you. So first of all, she had to announce that she was unclean. She had to be by herself. The issue lasted for 12 years. It went on for a whole 12 years. Now, ladies, I know some of you can imagine. Can you imagine having a menstrual for that long? I can. But she did. She went through that issue of blood and for that long of time. And she spent every dime she had with the doctors. She went to this doctor. She went to that doctor. She flew to Johns Hopkins. She went to the doctor. She just went everywhere. And they kept giving her different antidotes that didn't work. Nothing worked. And the thing that was great about this woman, she said, "I've tried everything. I've tried this, that, and the other. Nothing has worked. I am going," and she heard about Jesus coming through. And she said, "You know what? If I can just get to him, I will be made whole. If I could just touch him. And the thing was, she ain't have, she was weak. She was feeble. She went out crawling to him. And she was touching him that she would be made whole. And because of her faith, the Lord felt virtue leave from his body. And the woman was made whole instantly. So that's such an encouraging story. Some of you who are facing situations that you have no way of how you're going to come out, I tell you on today, you must find a way to drop to your knees and touch the Lord. He is waiting for you. We are going to take a break. We'll be back in a few moments.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Everybody, come on, and let me.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, I just want to say thank you for making my Geico Insurance ID card digital. It's easy to find on the app. It doesn't give me paper cuts, and I always have it on hand because it's on my phone. Because of this, I finally cleaned out my glove box, which was filled with years of paper ID cards. Any thought on what I should put in my glove box now? Sincerely, Trent Patterson. Trent, what can you put in the glove box? Here's a crazy thought. How about gloves?
Digital insurance ID cards, just a tap away on the Geico app.
If you've got 15 seconds, Geico could help you be a better driver.
Speeding is dangerous and doesn't really save you much time. How many times have you reached a red light only to find the guy who roared past you waiting there? Traffic signals limit overall speeds to what the system can handle. Drive faster and you'll simply spend more time waiting at red lights, wasting fuel, and being more stressed out.
Manage your policy, get roadside assistance, and more. Just a tap away on Geico's free mobile app.
Don't just complain about your cable bill going up. Do something about it. Call 800-912-1816. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99. Best of all, there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Call 800-912-1816. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut cost and get more. 800-912-1816. That's 800-912-1816.
President Obama loves WOL, where information is power. So in love with you. WOL, where information is power.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their networks.
McGruff here.
The crime dog?
Yep.
I think I'm going to need your help. I've got an internet bully.
Okay, well, what you do is...
Maybe you could put a virus on her computer. Or a tracking device. Or a bug.
You don't have to do that, all you...
Or maybe we could get an attack dog. You ever see those attack dogs that can, rip a person's arm off? Seriously. Or like a SWAT team. A cyber SWAT team or something. Or like an army. Did you ever see that zombie army movie? We should get a zombie army.
Wait. All you need to do to stop an internet bully is delete their messages and never forward them on.
So, no zombies?
No zombies.
Bummer.
Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
And to manage the depression with drugs, with various drugs. And our take this morning is that we have the power within us to overcome depression. And overcoming depression is to succeed with dealing with a problem. We can defeat it, we can beat it, conquer it, and overpower it through the blood of Jesus. So that is one of the ways that we're talking about overcoming depression. The second thing that's important in overcoming depression is to gain some control over your thought life. A lot of us, we spend a lot of time dealing with negative thoughts. And we got to remember, now we said that depression is a spirit. First of all, we need to understand that we are a spirit, we have a soul and we live in a body. I want to say that again. Some of you who, you know the Bible and things like that, you understand that. A lot of us believe that, when you see a person, that is the person. No, that's the shell. That's the house that person lives in. That is not truly the person. So we are a spirit, we have a soul, and we live in a body. The soul is what the enemy is fighting to gain control of. He wants your mind, he wants your will, and he wants your emotions. So the way that the enemy attacks us is in our minds. It's through what we think. And he doesn't have the power to make us do anything, but he does. He's the awesome originator of suggestions. Oh, I won't say originator, but he's a master of suggesting things to us. And he suggested, and if we believe it, we'll take on the thought as if we thought of it, but really it was a attack from the enemy that we just accepted. So we got to learn where all of this stuff is coming from so that we can deal with it and overcome it effectively. But we currently have someone on the phone. We'll get back to our lesson in overcoming depression. We have a caller on the phone. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, ma'am? What's your name?
This is Mushala of Salon Synergy.
Oh, wonderful. Good morning, Mushala. Salon Synergy. Okay, so the question of the day, I want you to respond to the question of the day. Was it shocking to hear that funny man Robin Williams suffered with addiction and depression to the point of suicide? Were you surprised to hear that?
I was shocked.
You were?
I was really shocked.
And why were you surprised?
Only because what he stood for and how he was on television, and how just he handled his personal life in the past. And I knew he had issues before, but I kind of thought that he had, went and took care of it. And so when I heard that, it just shocked me that it got to the point where he did commit suicide.
Wow.
Which led me to think that he really wasn't taking care of self.
Yes. He wasn't well emotionally. That is
right.
Very unfortunate. Do you have any way that, have you ever been depressed, Mushala? And if you were, how did you overcome it? Because you always smile. I love to be in your presence. You are just a breath of fresh air to me. I love talking with you, and I'm very choosy who I talk with, but you notice anytime you come around, I pull you to the side for at least 10 minutes and share and talk with you because you're very encouraging. But have you ever dealt with depression? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Well, I've never personally dealt with depression.
Okay.
I try not to let things bother me, but things do bother you.
Yes.
Life in general. You come across things in life that will bother you, and so like when you see Salon Energy, it says mind, body, soul.
Yes.
Creating beautiful hair. It's holistic. When you deal with hair or anything, you got to come into a point of holistically.
Yes.
So if you're not together emotionally, in your soul, in your spirit, and everything's not going to come together for your hair to be okay. When people come in the salon, they're depressed about certain things, and depressed may be a deep word, a strong word, but it's real for some people. The little things, when you have something small that bothers you, it's wise to talk about it. If somebody bothers you, then you need to approach that person and talk about it.
That's right.
You can't let little things fester, because when they fester, it's like a disease. Like cancer, it starts off small and just spreads and spreads and spreads, and it gets to a point where you can't do anything except what he did. It just gets that bad.
You feel that way.
I try to tell people to do, I just tell people to always think positive, because there's a silver line to everything. There's a silver line, and then there's just so many programs out here to go to talk to somebody, and a lot of people feel ashamed, but depression is real. Anything that affects you mentally, it's going to affect your body internally, which is going to affect how you look on the outward.
That's the truth. That is the
truth.
So,
like adding on to what you say, spiritual is a big thing. Like, you got to tap into your spiritual, whatever you believe in, to the higher power. You have to, do that, and then that will, bring you down. Or talk to somebody, make a phone call, talk to anybody, because people may give you ideas that you may not even have thought of.
True. That is the truth.
Or sit back, or go somewhere, where you can just meditate and think. and think about the options. But sometimes if you just sit down and just be quiet and just sit still and meditate, your answers will come to you.
That's right. That's the truth. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And you are now the new and proud owner of, tell us the name of your salon.
Salon Synergy, formerly Sea Island on Georgia Avenue.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. So tell us really quick, what's going on so far? What are you looking forward to in owning your new salon, and if anything that we should know about?
Well, so far I'm, still getting everything together. Got new stylists in the house.
Okay.
And so right now we're about to be passing flyers out at Howard University for the freshmen.
Okay.
Come in and it's about to start. And then we have $25 Tuesdays.
Okay.
And they have $45 Relaxer Wednesdays, and they're for new clients and freshmen only.
Okay.
But we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. We're going to have some education classes. And we're going to have the whole look, hair, makeup, fashion. We're going to have classes like those.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay, well, tell everyone how they can contact you and get in touch with you. Now, I was told that you are the lock maintenance queen, that there's nothing that you can't do with those locks. So for those of you who you want to start some locks, you need to maintain them, or you need a beautiful updo, Mushala is one of the great stylists in the DMV area who can give you an awesome service. So tell them how they can reach you, Mushala.
The salon phone number is 202-462-6770, and my cell number is 202-509-1376, and the address is 2824 Georgia Avenue Northwest.
Wow. Again, congratulations for taking over the old Sea Island Salon on Georgia Avenue. It's now Salon Synergy, owned by Mushala, and we are so proud and happy for you. Continue to do great work, Mushala, and we look forward to talking with you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Yes. We are talking about overcoming depression. It's such a serious subject, and you still have time to contact any of your friends or family members who need some of this advice and tips on how to overcome. First of all, they need to know that there is hope. A lot of times people feel hopeless in situations. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. Does anyone care? Yes, there's someone who cares. First of all, your Father in heaven cares. And I can't say that enough, because a lot of times, people are wrapped up in their own lives. They got a whole lot going on, especially in the DMV area. We are filled with stress because we're so busy doing this and doing that. And a lot of times we don't take time out for our family and friends. One of my friends told me that they were feeling depressed because they thought that they were going to get this house, and they found out that now was not the time to get the house, that they were going to get it later, but they were still depressed because in their hearts of hearts they wanted this house now. And they went to another friend, and they just wanted to mope and just be sad about it with the friend. And the friend said, well, okay, you got a few seconds because I gotta go. And so didn't give them no time to mope or nothing. But that's how we are sometimes. We don't take, we're not our brother's keeper. We don't sit and cry with those who cry, weep with those who weep, shout with those who shout. And, the Bible gives us instructions on how to live a healthy and well life. And a lot of times we just don't do it. We just so into ourselves, and we're not really there for our loved ones at times. So I just want to say that the Lord's phone is never busy. He's never he's never too caught up that he can't listen to you. He is all, I'm telling you, it's the greatest relationship I have ever had. And because of that relationship, it's nothing, I feel like there's nothing that I can't do. First of all, he promised that he won't allow you to go through more than you can bear. First of all, when the enemy want to come with all of this stuff and at you, he has to get permission from God. He can't just do anything he want to do to you. So if the Lord allows things to come in your life, he knows that you have the ability to handle it. You are capable of handling it. It may not feel good, but believe me, if it's in your life, you can overcome it. But a lot of times, the only way you'll be able to overcome it is through going to him. So we're talking about overcoming depression on this morning, giving tips and giving ways of how to overcome it and not just cope with it, because medication is just a temporary fix. It does not solve the problem. It does not get to the root of the issue, and it does not alleviate you from the situation. What it does is it helps mask the pain for a little while. So we're giving tips on how to overcome depression, and we're praying that it's helping someone on this morning. We have to go for a break, and we will be back in a few moments.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, WL Traffic Update is brought to you by McDonald's. 295 southbound, slowing from Benning Road down to Pennsylvania Avenue, very heavy, but everything's open. Suitland Parkway both ways between First Sterling Avenue and Stanton Road. Construction in the left lane on eastbound 704 Martin Luther King Jr. Highway between Addison Road and Sheriff Road. Construction was in the right lane near Carrington Avenue. Now with the new McDonald's app, you can get exclusive personalized coupon offers like never before. McDapp.com to start saving at your local Washington, D.C. McDonald's today. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Hammermill Paper for today. Increase in clouds, a high near 85. Scattered showers overnight down to 70. Off and on rain tomorrow with a high near 83. Hammermill Paper is proudly made in the USA, now available at your local Walmart. Pick up a ream today. Hammermill, no worries. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, everyone. We are back live on the Sea Island Morning Show. This is Trendy Lindy. Sea Island is on a short vacation. He will be back. And this morning we have been talking about overcoming depression. Our question of the day is, was it shocking to you to hear that funny man Robin Williams suffered with addiction and depression to the point of suicide? It was very shocking to me. I was just surprised. But I learned by listening to one of the radio stations that comedians often deal with depression. And I don't know, I can assume that entertainers just in general can deal with a lot of depression because of, they have to stay faced. They got to keep up with the Joneses. They got to do different things to get roles and gigs and all of that. And that stuff can just be stressful. So I can imagine that it can cause a lot of depression. We currently have Showtime on the line. He's actually one of our instructors at the award-winning Bennett Career Institute. So I first want you, Showtime, to address the topic of the day, and then we're going to talk about some of the great things that you did on this weekend. So first of all, good morning, Showtime.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, the question of the day is, was it shocking to hear that funny man Robin Williams suffered with addiction and depression and to the point of suicide? Were you surprised to hear that?
Yes, I was surprised, but not surprised that it happened.
Okay.
I had a friend of mine, actually, a client, his sister, I actually used to do her hair, and she took her life. It was like 2 or 3 years ago now. And it really, really, really affected me. I never saw any signs. I don't think anybody's seen it. She had a regular routine. It was a Sunday, Saturday, and she went by her mom, went by her grandmother, spoke their regular routine. She went home, got a call from her brother, and Sunday morning I was going to church, and he said, Steph's gone. I said, what do you mean she's gone? She's gone. She's dead with me. She hung herself.
Oh,
and the phone just dropped. And I was to this day, I still can't, and I sit back and I think, like, wow, that's why every morning I speak to people, I say good morning, hello, I tell my clients every morning I love them, I tell them every morning the smallest things, because you never know what a person's going through, and sometimes me just telling them that may be the first time they heard that week or that month or period, and you never really know what a person's going through and how they're dealing with it. And I think a form of communication is one of the most essential keys, and just understanding and learning people's behavior and just observing and watching them. It hurts. I'm not surprised at it, but again, it just shows no matter if somebody's statue as famous as it was, the money issue, love supersedes all of that. Depression on somebody's what they have in their heart supersedes all of that.
Yes. Wow. So, Mr. Showtime, by knowing that lady and, knowing that, she took her life, do you ever think back and say, was it something I could have said? Or do you act differently now? Is that why you tell everybody in your, you start your morning off with telling them you love them? Was it that incident? How did that incident affect you and cause you to change?
It affected me greatly. I was blessed. I was fortunate, and I told a student in my class, I lost both my parents through cancer, but I was blessed to be able to wake up to have both environments in a home, and everybody's not blessed to do that. And I told a person, I said I was blessed. Not many people can say, my father once said, he saw me take my first breath. And I also told my student I was blessed to see both my parents take their last breath. I was there for both of them. And every day, my mother told me she loved me. My father told me she loved me. Every day I kissed my mother when I was in her presence. Every day I called her and told her I loved her. Every Sunday, I bought her flowers. I like to give people flowers. Love to tell people that love them there when they're alive, where they can see and enjoy it.
Yes.
And what I think we don't acknowledge each other for the small things that they do.
Yeah.
It's just the little things that help, and that played a big part. And it kind of re-opened my eyes back open. It's a lot of people in the class, people that I see Sister My Cherry Day, that probably they're suffering from the same thing, and we don't know it. That's why I always encourage them, saying good things, saying positive things. And you said something real important in the meeting last Thursday, how a lot of stuff we create is in our mind. A lot of us don't know how to release a lot of things. A lot of us don't know how to forgive.
Yeah.
And we have carried so much, and it builds up stress, form of depression, that later can turn to suicide. And it's you saying a lot of people call it an illness, and how you spoke to saying it's a negative spirit. And I listened to it, and I'm like, wow, because a lot of times we invite things in that don't realize by just simply what we're speaking about. And speaking on negative things, and when you create it so much, it become a living manifest.
Yes, that is so true.
So I'm always constantly telling people, think of the positive things. So what I do in the morning time, I say, do anybody have any good news? That's the first thing I say.
That's good.
I want to hear all good. I don't want to hear anything negative on anything. If it's something negative, maybe we can speak individually.
Yeah.
And we can sit down one-on-one, what have you. But I always want to hear the good encouraging things.
Yes.
There's always something on the news about the gentleman that they got life was taken by the police.
Yes.
They constantly feed the media negative things. And there's so much good positive energy that's not being recognized and not being addressed.
That's right.
And, like at Bennett Career, we always doing positive things. We have, in the morning time, we may do the donuts and the juice, and we have Spirit Week. Miss Arnold's always doing like Spirit Week, different functions to keep students, keep people just feeling positive, feeling good energy.
Exactly. That is awesome. You shared a lot, Showtime. I really, really appreciate that. Well, we go back a little far, and your nickname is Happy. Who gave you that nickname? Because
my nickname is Happy.
You know what? And it's funny because I remember calling you Happy in junior high school, but you are one person who always seemed happy. There is power in the name, first of all. People don't believe it, but you got to be careful what you name your child. Suppose you was named something that was negative. You probably would be acting like it. But you are always, now I don't know if it's the spirits that cause you to be happy, but you are always happy, Showtime. You are really a breath of fresh air as well. So who named you Happy? How did that come about? Real quick.
My name became Happy. My mother's friend. And she says he's always smiling. He's a happy baby. And they gave me the name. My mother just stuck with it. Then years ago, our ancestors, that's how they named us. They named us pretty much of what we were, we was coming up, what we done, what type of, and that's how you pretty much got a name.
Yeah.
Our forefathers, ancestors before then, that's how they named our child.
Exactly.
And names are powerful.
It is. It's powerful.
It means a lot. And if you constantly saying something to a person, people get a chance of naming somebody, giving them a nickname, whether it's good or negative. Sometimes a person will start feeding it to and start believing that and become a part of what person keeps telling them.
That's right.
That's why I tell people, be careful about what you say out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Because you can be rehearsing something. You could be bringing something to existence, and it can be something that's negative. And a lot of times, you could be doing something, and I call it practicing bad habits. You know, and what I've done, I always constantly just put my energy into things that's positive.
Okay.
You know, all around the clock. If there's something I can use, some benefit to somebody, because people going to say negative things about you. People going to always have something negative to say, and it's not you. 9 times out of 10, it's how that person's feeling.
That's right.
And hurt people like to hurt other people.
That's right.
You know, so a lot of times I learn quick to say, hey, wait a minute, I haven't done anything to this person. This person, obviously, this person doesn't even know me. So it's got to be something's going on with them.
Yes.
And I learn how to recognize and not keep it separate. You know, and I always pray God to give me strength, always guide me with insight and understanding. And I also pray for my negative. I'll pray for people that's negative.
Yeah.
I also pray for my enemies.
That's right.
You know, and I also pray to God keep a shield of protection around me that protect me and my loved ones, my family.
That's right.
You know, and a lot of people that side of me really don't know. They always seem I'm upbeat, I'm always smiling. And a lot of times, you know, that brings you strength and energy because it takes so much energy to be negative.
It does.
A lot of people don't realize that.
That's
true. It will drain you.
Yes. That is the true Showtime. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Yeah. So this weekend, let's move on to the positive things that been going on.
It was wonderful.
It was. Tell us what happened. Yeah. Start with Saturday. What you do?
Oh wow, Saturday. There was so many things going out. First, I had to be at the school because that's the first priority. We had to service the clients. And not only that, at that time, we had other events in different communities that was going on doing free haircuts.
Okay.
And I, myself, took a few students, and we went out to the pavilion centers out of Martin Luther King Avenue, the old St. E's on Martin Luther King Avenue, and Sharon Cook, who's a government agent, association director, she had an event there, Kids for Cuts.
Okay.
Free haircuts. It was really good. The mayor came out himself. He spoke with us. I talked to him. It was another really big event, and it was a wonderful event to see all the kids coming up to the community getting haircuts, and I just like that. And I had a friend of mine with me, and they said, "Wow, I didn't realize the impact that y'all do." And just looking at all the, she say, well, y'all keep saying keep a cuts, but there's a lot of dogs getting haircuts.
Really? Okay.
Yes, a lot of dogs. My thing is, I told the lady, I said, if they got hair, then we'll service.
Okay. That's awesome.
So it was really great. The mayor enjoyed it. We got another big event coming on the 22nd. We'll be at the shelter in Washington, D.C., next to the jail. And we'll also be doing free haircuts for everyone at the shelter. That's something that I participate through every year. And that's one of my main attractions I really like to do. So I took my show on the road after Saturday and came with to Jersey, and I continued to cut. And I'm pretty much feeling it now. I got to rest.
Okay.
But it was a really great event. It was really beautiful. They had a live entertainment. They had a couple of live bands, unlimited food to eat and drinks. it was really nice, and that's something that I like to see more of in our community, that we're just doing give, and maybe we can get some barbershops that come out to come out with us and join us and do haircuts for the community.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. To do a. Well, C. Allen has something up his sleeve for next year. It's going to be really, really phenomenal. I'm sure you're going to be a part. So we'll talk about that a little later. I don't want to give his stuff away. If it was him, he would tell it, but I ain't gonna tell it.
Don't tell it.
Yeah, cause he write the check, so I better keep it cute. So anyhow, Showtime, tell us, you have anything going on at the Showtime barber grooming salon?
Well, yes, we're doing back to school cuts, of course, with super extraordinary discounts for the community in the area of U Street, Showtime 923 U Street Northwest.
Okay, give them your contact information, Showtime, and we go to break in a second. Give them your contact information.
The address is 923 U Street Northwest, Showtime Hair Designs. The number there is 322-332-2526.
Thank you, Showtime. Thank you so much. You have a great day, sir.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll be right back after these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
I'm Doug Parrish. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by Maryland Live Casino. Don't miss a $300,000 Harley-Davidson and free play giveaway. Visit MarylandLiveCasino.com for details. Well, the parents of Michael Brown say they're confident that an independent autopsy shows their son was shot at least 6 times by a Ferguson, Missouri police officer.
The most troubling is the headshot that, it's just not justified in any way, fashion, or form to execute this child.
Well, that's Brown family attorney Benjamin Crump speaking on ABC's Good Morning America. Meanwhile, the protests and riots continued overnight in the town of Ferguson, with police having to use tear gas to break up the crowds. Well, President Obama took a break from his vacation and came back to Washington for meetings on military operations in Iraq, as well as the unrest in Ferguson, Missouri. Obama and Vice President Joe Biden will meet with members of the National Security Council about Iraq. Then later this afternoon, Attorney General Eric Holder will brief the president on the investigation into the incident in Ferguson. Well, police in Prince George's County will be holding a press conference today to release more information on a tragic shooting incident involving a father and his young daughter. Police say Frederick Miller abducted the young girl Saturday, stabbed, then shot her. Officers then killed Miller in a shootout. Police say he had been involved in an ongoing custody dispute with the girl's mother. Car thefts are down across the D.C. region, way down. The Washington Post reports fewer cars were stolen in Maryland in 2013 than at any time since 1975. The district reported just over 3,000 car thefts in 2013. That's an 11% decline from the previous year. And the news brought to you in part by VisionWorks. Our Eyes is now VisionWorks, where you'll find more than a pair of glasses. You'll find a better you. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to News1.com.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, everyone. This is Trendy Lindy. This is the C. Allen Morning Show, and we've been talking about overcoming depression on this morning. We've had our question of the day is, was it shocking to hear that funny man, Robin Williams, suffered with addiction and depression to the point of suicide? So if you have a comment, please give us a call. We still have a few minutes to take your call, and that is at 1-800-450-7876. We currently have one of our favorite men of C. Allen on the line, and he wants to talk to us. First, we're going to ask him to share with us his thought about Robin Williams, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on at C. Allen Signature Salon. Good morning, Caesar.
Good morning, Trendy. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. I'm glad you called in today. I want you to respond to the question of the day. Was it shocking to hear that funny man Robin Williams suffered with an addiction and depression to the point of suicide? Were you surprised to hear that?
I don't want to sound callous, but, when things like this happen, I can't say I was surprised. But
okay.
It's just like, for me, I just feel like, in life, God don't make any mistakes. You know what I mean? I feel like everything that happens definitely happens for a reason.
Okay.
And I feel as though, like with Robin Williams, it's just like the latest example of you truly just have to be happy, like with who you are and like what's like real around you. Like how Mr. Showtime was saying a few moments ago, like love is like most important above all. You know what I mean? So it's like a person could have the world or could have nothing, but if you have love, that's the thing that's going to really make a person feel like they have purpose. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was just like another example that we had to see. Like people may feel as though if you're on a different spectrum or a different side of the totem pole, that you'll probably be fulfilled in different kind of ways. But ultimately, it's about love and like having peace, like with God. You know, because like when you go through life and things may seem daunting or unable to overcome easily, you got to understand that God is never putting too much on you more than what you can handle, and just having faith make you feel as though you can get through your days like Superman or Superwoman, you know what I mean? Just knowing that you have a higher power protecting you.
That's awesome. Okay, that's wonderful. Let's move on and talk about you being the new addition at the Sea Island Signature Salon. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be a part of the team.
Oh my goodness, things are just moving up and out for you, sir. I am excited to see what God is doing in your life. But anyway, tell us, Sea Island isn't here, so you got to speak up for him a little bit when it comes to what's going on at the Sea Island Signature Salon. Tell us what's happening over there.
Well, currently, you know, we have a good thing going on with the 20 Tuesdays. Is a real good promoter for, you know, I'm noticing a lot of young people, a lot of Howard students coming out and, you know, getting their hair done for a good price. Being so they're trying to save money getting in and out of school. So I think that's a beautiful thing for the community.
Wonderful.
One thing that we got always going on is good haircuts by my man Cooper.
Okay.
You know, we got a great stylist in there from Miss Willette all the way to Miss Fisher. All the way we got good assistants.
Okay.
So it's a good thing, and as far as what I'm bringing to the table, we'll be doing facials for the ladies, you know, a way to pamper them, you know, help them with a little bit of that stress and just getting some me time on Sundays and Mondays, you know, just offering a good pampering service.
Wonderful. That is awesome, Caesar. So tell us, if someone is interested in getting one of those fabulous facials that you offer, how do they get in contact with you?
Well, first thing they can do is either call the salon or they can contact me directly at 240-528-1020. And, of course, we can set up appointments again for Sunday and Monday. And just expect to spend about 45 minutes to an hour with me so I can take time to take care of you.
Wow, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Caesar, and we look forward to seeing you.
All right, thank you, Trendy. You have a wonderful week.
Okay, you too. Yes. That was our awesome, wonderful Caesar calling, just giving his experience with pampering and facials and things like that. He can be contacted at the Sea Island Signature Salon, which is 202-265-1772. We currently have another one of our favorite callers on the line. Dave, are you there? Dave, are you? Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Good morning, Vietnam.
You are so funny. Dave, okay, so I know you're calling in to respond to the question of the day. Was it shocking to hear that funny man Robin Williams suffered with addiction and depression to the point of suicide?
Well, to be honest with you, don't nothing surprise me around here no more.
Okay.
But I will tell you this. I tell you, when I really probably knew it was a serious problem, I must have been about in my 20s. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you live in D.C., that we had a council member. His name was Wilson.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. And to me, it seemed like he was like the perfect model brother to me. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, he went home after he got off work and went down in the basement and put a rope around his neck and jumped off a chair. And I was in my 20s, and you know, and he was no kin to him, but it kind of like bothered me because I knew of him. I knew he was doing a lot of positive things in the community. Mm-hmm. And that kind of like messed up my day, you know. But ever since then, you know, I knew it was a serious problem out here.
Okay. And did that cause you to operate a little bit different when you dealt with people, or how did that change you?
It just let me know that there was a lot of people out here who suffering from all kind of depression.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, they want help, but they can't get help.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, by the time they get help, it's too late.
Mm-hmm. That is the truth. Well, thank you for calling in and sharing with us, Dave. We appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you on next week.
Okay, enjoy your day.
Okay, you too, sir.
Right.
Yes, our callers made valid points on today. If you're interested in making a comment regarding Robin Williams' death to suicide, give us a call, 1-800-450-7876. Now, we've been talking about overcoming depression, talking about how you don't just have to cope with depression anymore. You can overcome depression. You have the power inside of you to overcome the depression with the help of God. So if you are not, if you don't have that relationship with the Lord, you need to continue taking your medicine, but you also need to seek Him because He's right there. I mean, He's right wherever you are. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go into the church. He is wherever you are, in your bedroom, in your bathroom, in the cubicle with you at work. He is right where you are. All you have to do is say a little prayer to Him. Talk to Him. He's listening. You don't even have to say it loud. And that's just the awesomeness of God. He has made it so easy. He is so available and accessible that you don't even have to do much to get to Him. But you have to have faith. You have to know that you need Him, first of all, and go to Him. But I have to say, in dealing with depression, we was talking about how we are a spirit and we have a soul and we live in a body. The soul is the mind, the will, and the emotions. And that's where the enemy attacks us at. He attacks us in our mind, in our thought life. He makes all types of suggestions. And because some of us don't believe, in the spiritual side, we don't believe there's a God. Some of us don't believe there's a devil. He's able to disguise himself as really being you. So when you think of negative thoughts, you think that it came from you, but it actually did not come from you. It came from that spirit that's trying to get into you or trying to taunt you or destroy you. We got to remember the devil's job is to steal, to kill, and destroy. He wants to destroy your hope. He wants to steal your dreams. He wants to kill you. And if he had his way, he would do so. The thing is, he doesn't have rights to do anything he want to do to us. He actually has to go to God and get permission to taunt us. And if the Lord allows certain trials and tribulations to come into our lives, it's not to kill us. If he allowed it, he actually allows it because the Lord allows tests in our life. And sometimes he wants to push you to him. So he allows certain things to go on, but they're never to destroy us if he allows it. But we do have the power to overcome it. We have someone on the line now. Good morning, caller. Good morning, Ann.
And I did want to respond to your question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was aware of Robin Williams' addiction problems, but I was not aware about the depression.
Okay.
And I wanted to say that I do agree with what you say in terms of overcoming depression through the grace of God and with the help of God.
Yes.
I do want to compare depression with, for example, diabetes, which is a physical illness.
Okay.
Sometimes diabetes comes about because of our own bad habits.
Yes, ma'am.
But sometimes you're born with a genetic predisposition to diabetes.
Yes.
And so, to me, the same is with depression.
Okay.
I think, as you said, depression can come through in terms of that spirit of anger that you said is turned inward.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes people are born with a predisposition to depression.
Okay.
And that runs through my family. So I've seen it up close and personal.
Okay.
So I would only say that I was glad to hear you say that people should stick with their meds until they become strong enough through the Lord to deal with it on their own. I think that God gave us medicine to kind of, just like with diabetes, you can stabilize yourself with the medicine. Then get off the medicine. Once you have the spirit to overcome any bad habits that have led to that and to get strong in terms of dealing with your genetic predisposition. Same with depression. I would encourage people to stay on their medicine. I would like to see medical technology develop some kind of implant where that could be implanted. The medicine could be implanted in you in some kind of little tube or something that would release the medicine over time, because when people are in the grips of depression, they can't think well enough to get on their meds and stay on their meds. They need something to stabilize them.
Thank you.
I'm agreeing with what you said, and I just wanted to add my own personal experience with it.
Thank you so much for your comment, Miss Ann. We appreciate you and continue to listen to us, okay?
I will.
Okay, have a great day. We'll be back in a few moments.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, it's WOL Traffic Update is brought to you by Hammermill Paper. Inbound 50 at 202 in Cheverly. The road work back today in the left lane with delays from 410. Inbound on Suitland Parkway, outbound on Suitland Parkway. Both ways between First Sterling Avenue and Stanton Road, it's construction in the left lane right now, slowing you down briefly both ways. Hammermill Paper is proudly made in the USA and is now available at your local Walmart. Pick up a ream today. Hammermill, no worries. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by the Columbia Bank. For today, increasing clouds during the day, a high near 85. Scattered showers overnight down to 70 tomorrow. Cloudy with off and on rain showers during the afternoon, a high near 83. The Columbia Bank, you can securely deposit your checks with just a snap using their new mobile deposit service. Go online at thecolumbiabank.com to get started. Message and data rates may apply. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, everyone. This is Trendy Lindy live in the studio of 1450 WOL. This is the Sea Island Morning Show, and we have been talking about overcoming depression. Depression is a serious issue. It's really, really serious. There are a lot of times when depression is anger turned inwardly. We want to say that it's anger. And a lot of times, we just don't know how to deal with it. So we have been talking about different issues, and it started from we started on this subject because of Robin Williams. I was really shocked to hear that a man so funny, so successful, so it seemed, would suffer with something as serious as depression. But then again, I was not surprised because if we don't have a spiritual base sometimes, it's no way to really overcome things like that. And for years, Robin Williams suffered with the addiction and depression. And that's what I was saying earlier. A lot of times we just, we go to doctors and we get the fix that the doctors give us, which is medication, but it never fixes us. All it does is temporarily mask the situation, and it causes us to, have a lifetime of living on this medication. And what I'm saying to you, for those who believe, you do not have to just cope with managing your situation and your depression. You can get to the root of it, but you have to have the assistance and go through God in order to overcome it and never have to, deal with taking medication and all of those things again. I do want to address that there are situations that we're born in. We got to remember that we were all born in sin and we were shaped in iniquity. So all of us were born with some type of negative spirit over our families that, that sometimes you will have to face or you encounter. You don't know where the thing came from, but you do remember that granddaddy used to do it. Grandmama did it. Like in some families, there's a spirit of alcoholism. Everybody are drunks in the family. I hate to say it, but there's some families that deal with that. There's some families that deal with obesity. If you look at the mother, she's overweight. You look at the grandmother. You look at her mother. The children, everybody's overweight. There's a spirit of gluttony that's running rampant in that family. And what happens is the spirit finds an open door and it comes in through whatever the open door is. As far as obesity, it could be the fact of poor eating habits. Everybody eat hog maw and pig feet and all these fatty things, potatoes and all these things. So the spirit of gluttony has a open door to just cause everyone to be obese. So we have to understand that this is a spiritual issue. And even if it does run through your family, you can cut it off when you decide that the blood of Jesus is more powerful than any spirit that we can ever face. Ephesians 6 says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places." See, the evil spirits, they're in the air. They are not. The enemy don't come with a pitchfork, a red long tail, in a little. He don't look like that. He come in a regular. What he will do, he has to possess a body. He has to come and either possess it or he influences it. So we want you to know that you have the power. You just have to seek God to overcome some of these things. And someone also mentioned that it's love that will conquer almost anything. Now, one of the things that really upsets me, and I know a lot of times that the person is so mentally gone that they don't, they just accept it. But suicide is also a spirit. Like I said, a third of the angels got kicked out, decided to join Lucifer when he got kicked out of heaven. So a third of those angels they're now called demons. And suicide is a demon. So what it will do is, it'll start from fear, it'll escalate to anger, it'll turn and the spirit of depression will come. And then before you know it, the spirit of suicide is right there. So this may be too much for some of you, but I'm telling you, you have to understand what the truth is so that you can get to the root and you can overcome these situations when they face your door. But suicide has to be one of the worst and most selfish acts that a human being can do. And the reason for it is because God, God gave us life, and it's a gift. Life is actually a gift. So when we choose to say, okay, I don't want this gift, I'm gonna throw it away, I'm gonna end it all. It's horrible. First of all, it affects everyone who's connected to us. It affects our parents, our family, our friends. So to actually go and take your life is actually you're into yourself a little bit too much. Well, I guess way too much if you're going to take your life. Loving your family, loving your friends, loving someone other than thinking about your problems will cause you to fight another day, because if I take my life, I'm going to crush her. I can't take my life because what are my kids going to do? You got to come out of yourself in order to beat suicide, because suicide is the ultimate act of selfishness. So we're going to take our last caller real quick. We got someone on the line, Lonzo? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, what's your name?
Lois, how are you?
I'm great, Lois. You have a comment on our...
I do. I have to respectfully disagree with you.
Okay.
Everybody does not have God on the inside.
Okay.
That's why you must be born again of the water and the Spirit.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
God is a spirit. He comes if you ask Him.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
give yourself over to Him. And when you do that, you have the guard against anything else if you follow his word. The scriptures say that I might know him in the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's inside you. The more you get into his word, the more power you receive.
Yes, ma'am.
Out from him. He's the one. Love him. Love yourself as you love your neighbor. Love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. You will not be suicidal.
So tell me where you disagree, Lois.
I'm disagreeing with you. You said it's inside you. It's not automatic. The Spirit of God is not inside anyone, honey, until you ask him in. That's why we must be born again of the water and the Spirit.
And that is correct. That is correct. And what I've been saying is we are spirit. We're a spirit. And we have a soul.
God is not inside of us. Not automatically.
No, that is correct. God is not inside of us automatically. We have to ask him in, and we have to pray, and we have to, we have steps to do. So you're correct with that. Okay, just making sure we're on the same. So we are on the same page. You're just saying that something was omitted that you have to ask the Lord in.
You have to have him inside.
Exactly.
And he does not just jump on you. You have to give over to him.
Exactly.
Completely.
Exactly.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Lois. Have a great one. And you know what? And that was a major point. And for those of you who have not asked the Lord into your life, and you've learned from today that you need him. You've learned that you can't overcome without him. That it's going to take him in order to help you to deal with any spiritual battle, because as we said, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. It is a spiritual battle. So for those of you who want the Lord, and you know that he's not alive, he's not actually taking residence in your life because you haven't asked him, we're going to take a few minutes right now to just ask him in. So for those of you just who know that you want the Lord to take over your life and be Lord of your life, I just want you to repeat after me. First of all, I want you to close your eyes. If you're driving, continue to, drive. But we want you to first to say, Father God, in the name of Jesus, I repent of my sins. I know that you are seated at the right hand of the Father, and I need you in my life. Be Lord of my life. Take over right now. Have your way. And so if you said that prayer with me today, then the Lord will come in and he will take over your life. And from today forward, you are considered saved. So in that case, you need to find a local church. You can call me so I can give you some further instructions. My number is 202-526-1400, extension 18. I am Trendy Lindy, and I would love to help you on your path to your spiritual wellness. Today has been a phenomenal day. I hope you have received something that will help you. But in closing, if you need some ways to get over some regular ways, you got to change how you think. You got to think. The Bible says to think on those things that are pure and just and positive, of good report. So you got to change how you think. You got to get a prayer life. Believe it or not, laughter will help overcome depression. It's the Bible talks about it's as medicine to the soul. So some of you just got to laugh a little bit more. And then singing and dancing. Don't put on that old blues music that's going to cause more depression. Put you on some happy music, something that's just going to remind you that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So sing, dance around. That helps. Confession to friends, family, and to God. That will help you overcome depression. And also meditate. Meditate on things other than your problem. And for last, give yourself to someone who's in a worse place than you. Help someone else. Well, this has been Trendy Lindy Live. We've been on the Sea Island Morning Show. We've been talking about overcoming depression. I hope you've been helped today. You can contact me if you need to talk a little bit more, 202-526-1400. And remember, pamper yourself. It's your duty because you are worth it. Bye-bye.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
I never knew Jesus. I never knew I'd be so secure because of your love. face to face with the artists and celebrities you care about on theurbandaily.com, your source for the latest in entertainment news, interviews, and reviews. The Urban Daily's exclusive videos bring you face to face with the biggest names in music, movies, and TV. Our editors scour the web for the newest tracks and latest gossip. TheUrbanDaily.com gets you face to face with what's new, what's now, and what's next. TheUrbanDaily.com.
Disclaimers at cnctaxprogram.com. If the IRS claims you owe back taxes, you could qualify for a special tax program, and you won't make any payments to the IRS. That's right, I said if you qualify for the CNC tax program, you won't make any payments to the IRS while in this program. Get ready to write down the most important number you may ever need to finally end your IRS nightmare. This toll-free number should only be used if you can't afford to pay any money to the IRS. Call 800-321-0924 now to see if you qualify for the CNC tax program. Once you're accepted, the IRS must stop all collection activities against you. No more threatening phone calls, no wage garnishments or bank levies, and no more monthly payments to the IRS. Just call 800-321-0924 now to find out if you qualify for the CNC tax program. You won't make any payments to the IRS while in this program. Call 800-321-0924 now. That's 800-321-0924. 800-321-0924. Again, 800-321-0924.
President Obama loves WOL, where information is power.
So in love with you.
WOL, where information is power.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
And welcome back. Hey, it's Monday. It's high